Welcome to this particular part of our, dynamic dashboard inside Microsoft Power BI. So where we can actually flip these particular cards to see more insight, as you can see right here is very dynamic. So we can actually flip it from here and everything just get flipped for us, and we can actually unflip it. And we have a hidden slicer that we can actually use to actually filter our dashboard right here. And over here we have this particular tooltip that actually give us more insight about what we have as a chart, and we can actually use the same tooltip right on this particular map right here. It's something very dynamic, and I believe you would love to actually have this created. So if that is what you want, let's get started. So now it is time for me to actually add a tooltip. So I'm going to rename this particular page. You can do it over here, or you can click on over this particular page information and have it named here with ease. So dashboard, right? So once done now, the next thing I have to do is to add a new page. Under this particular new page now, I'm going to call this particular page tool tip 01 in case I have more of it. So once done now, change from standard to tooltip. So we're going to be using this particular default one. Then let us step up from here and go to this particular, part where it says this particular canvas settings here. We put it in the middle. Okay. We have this right now. So what and what do we want to have here? We want to have one side like this here. We want to have the, lost revenue. And one side here, we want to actually have the revenue actualized. So you get it right now. So this is going to be possible when we use a custom background right on the tooltip we are creating, which is something very simple. So let me show you how to create the custom background before we start putting anything in here. Okay, we are back here right now. I'm going to keep this over here, and have this here as well. Then the next thing is for me to change the color of this background to something like this. Okay, once done now, I'm going to pick this one here and drag it over here. Remember, we can do this as many times as we actually, can get exactly what we want from here. But for the time being, let's go with this one. So go ahead and change this one to white. Once done, let's go over to this particular line aspect and say no outline. So we have something like this. The next thing I have to do right now is to divide this into two. So I'm going to stretch it this way. So divide this into two to make it that way you can click on this particular, one, which is a line, and start the line from here and connect it to this particular one. So successfully it has been connected. The next thing I have to do right now is to go over here again, get a new one, and start from here and cover it up to this particular end here. You see that? So I want to make sure it connects to the line. So once done, duplicate it and have this one to be right here. So the next thing is for me to remove the line I have brought in, which is this particular line. Then remove this one. Then now we can just make sure we just do this and close it up. So something like this is what we have. So in fact, this one is optional. We might just get this one off because we want to use white over here. There is no point in keeping that one. So the next thing we need to do right now is to click over here and get this particular color. So once we've gotten this color, we have to make sure we put it at 50% transparency. So it gives us something like this. If need be, we can still take it down to something like 70. Okay, not bad. I'm going to use just 65. So once done now, we go over to line and we say no line to it. This is what we now have over here. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to get under one again. And this time around, we drag this one in here like this. So we take off the line. We don't want any line for it. So I'm going to use this particular color without affecting the color. We just want to leave it at this particular color here. So once we have this now, we just have to duplicate it and keep this over here. And now we go and pick this particular color. In case you want to know what color is this, so let me show you this now. Here we go. We have my color here, so which I'm going to share with you. You're going to have it on your download file. So here we have this. So once you have gotten this done, the next thing you have to do is to go over to this particular circle here and hold the shift key to drag it. And here we go. We have a perfect circle. We can keep this over here like this. So once you're cool with this, we have to change the color, and the color should actually match this color right here. And I think we can leave it this way. So duplicate it. Before you do that, remove the outline. It had an outline. Remove it, then duplicate, and have this one over here. Space it, get another one duplicated, keep it somewhere around here, and have a little space over here. Now hold your control key to select 3 of them. Go over to shape format. Here you align to the distribute horizontally. Then, vertically is what you need to do. Is vertically. So now we have the equal spacing here, and we align to the left hand corner. So this is what we have. So we can just hold our control key to select them again. This time around, I'm going to group them together to make it easy for me to copy. So duplicate it. The duplicated one should come over here. I can even take it down. Now hold this particular one, hold my control key and select, and go over here to align top. So I have something like this now. So we need to get in some couple of icons here to make it look better. So you know where I used to get my icons from. So go to flaticon.com and get any icons you want if you don't like the icon I'm using in this particular video. So I'm going to go over here now, go to this particular picture and click on this device. So once I have the icon open here, you can stretch it to see everything you have in here. So I want to get in all of those particular icons I have right here. So you multi-select and you click on OK. So once we are here, we can just make it this small. So I'm going to select individually and get it done. So come over here and click over, let's do it again. Click over picture corrections. And now you take this particular contrast down to 100%, then 100%. You do it for every one of the images to get white color. Like this, every one of the icons rather. Now, this is what we have. The next thing you have to do right now is to actually highlight every single thing we have right here, right click and save as picture. So I can just call the name to be card and just save it somewhere, anywhere you can remember that you can pick it up from. This is all we need to do. So once you're done with this right now, it is time for we to go back to Power BI and take a look at how we can make use of it. So we are now back to Power BI environment here. So what we need to do is to click on this particular canvas background here. And from there, we turn this into 0% and we'll bring it in. So here we go. So this is how it looks. Weird, right? No problem. Let's go over to here and click on fit. So with fit, it's not looking good. Let's go to fill. Okay, I think fill is better. This is cool, right? So this is how this looks right here. This is how it looks. So now it is time for us to start creating. But before we start creating, let us test it out and see what we have when we get to Power BI or the dashboard environment rather. So we can click on either of them now and apply, go to properties, tooltip, and now we choose this. So if we hover now, we have just an empty tooltip like this. Can you see what we have right now? Something just blank as this. So let us make it dynamic. So we are now here. The very first thing we have to bring up here now should be our net revenue. So we have to go straight up to here. So we go over to this particular DAX room. So we bring in our not lost revenue. We go to net revenue. We bring in the net revenue here. So here we go, we have this. So we can just quickly go ahead and click on this. Then we just make this one to be, maybe let's go with 20. It's not bad, but we don't want to actually have it on summarized value. We just want to have something like this. So if I go this way right now, and I want to use this, it will cover a lot of space. So for that, I don't want to have the categorical value here. Even though when I turn on this particular one, I still have it to consume a lot of space. To have control over your space, what you need to do is to just go ahead and remove either of the titles here. Let's go over here and turn off the background from it. So once done now, you can see this is still huge. So you can control it by putting it at 10. 10 looks very smallish. So let's go with 15. Okay. 15 looks quite okay. But let's see. So make sure you keep it somewhere around here. The next thing we have to do right now is to make sure we go over to the text box we have right in here. Inside the text box, we type in net revenue. So I'm going to keep it somewhere around here. No background. So we have something like this, right? Let's go back here. Now hover over either of them here. So you now have this. This is cool. This is what we actually want. So the next thing now is to come over back here. Then for we to make it quicker, always do group. So once grouped now, you can Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V to paste it. The pasted one could be moved down to here. So very easy, just double click on this one. And what you need to do here is just to do last month. That is all you need to do. Then over here, we just want to do, current versus last month. You have done that. Then you do the same thing to this particular one. So here we are going to do losts. Here, lost revenue. So over here now we do losts and last month, lost revenue last month, or we can just do lost revenue last month. So it will be too much. We can cut it short like this and we do last month. Then over here, we're going to do current versus last month here. This is what we have done here. Then the next thing we have to do right now is to make sure we match the correct measure that we're supposed to have inside here to it. So over here, we take this one off, we bring in this, right? So we click over this particular one here. What we need to bring in into this particular one now should be the month over month change here, which is going to give us blank or 0. So now I think, okay, we have it correctly here. I think this is not what we want. Yeah, I think so. Okay, this is what we want actually. This is it. So month over month change. Let's open the measure and we'll take a look at it. Yes, this is not what we want. What we want is actually going to be the value one, not the percentage one. So we just go ahead and locate the value. So we take off this one. This is what we are looking for, this very one here. So we now have this over here, right? So once we are done now, we can step into this particular one and fix the same exact, thing here. So we go forward, we go for the lost revenue. So here we open lost revenue here. So we want to make sure we come over here and turn this off. Or we can quickly just go ahead and bring this. So we get this one off from here. Lost revenue is this one. So here we click and we get the previous month or the last month over here. So we click on this one as well. So let us go ahead and take a look at what we have done. So if I hover over here right now, this is what it gives me. Can you see it now? So it gives me this. So if you still want to see the percentage that is peculiar to this, what you need to do is to make sure you just shift things around a little bit, and if need be, you make the value a bit smaller to get what you want. So let's go back here. So we are now here. You can actually right click and ungroup this. So do the same thing to this particular one. Right click and ungroup this. So you can now have control over this value here. Let us step into the formatting area. So we have it at 15. Let us go with something like 13 here. That is not bad. So once we have gotten this done, we can just move this a bit to this particular part here. So we do the same thing to this particular one here. So we go with 13 here. Not too bad. So we just take it down to this level here. So once done now, the next thing we have to do is to Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V to paste it, which is copying this one. So once you have done the copying, we come over here and pick up the month of month change here. Can you see it now? So for the month of month change, we have to make it small. Let's go with 9 and see what we have on it. So 9 is not bad. We can keep our 9 here, or if need be, we can keep it beneath here. So this is what we have. We just have to make sure we just bring it down. So now let us try 10, then to be more visible. So 10 looks okay. So once we have actually used 10, the next thing we have to do is to copy and paste it. Then move the pasted one over here. Then we're going to take a different one. This one is going to be from revenue. So we just go in here, turn off this one, and now bring in the month of a month from revenue. So we have this. So let's go back now and see what we have. So here we go. When I hover over here now, it gives me something like this. So here we go. So we want to add the conditional formatting. It's so simple. So we go over here again. So let's click on this one and stretch it. So we are under here. We want to put the conditional formatting. The conditional formatting is actually this particular CF net revenue. So we go over here. So we choose rows. So here we go, CF net revenue. So we add a new one. Quickly we go with this. We go with this particular one. We put 1 here and we put 0 here. And over here, we choose the green color we want to use. Let's go with something more greenish like this. So I'm going to copy this particular green to use for the other one. Then I choose the same pattern of red, this one here. So let us see what we have. Okay, then we do the same thing for this particular one. Then we go over to CF for lost revenue. So we add a new one. So equals 1 and 0. In case it's not working for you, that means this particular part here is actually turned to percentage. Make sure you change it to numbers. So we place the green color we've copied here. Oh, sorry, this green color is not going to be the one we're going to use. We're going to use this one over here. Under here, we'll use the green color because it's lost revenue. So here we go. We have this. So can you see it now? So let's go over to here now and take a look at what we have done. So if we hover now, we now have something like this. We have something like this. This is beautiful already. Can you see it? Okay, what is next? We want to actually make sure we apply the same exact thing to this very one here. So which means we come over here now, we click over the properties and tooltip, we select this tooltip one. So we do the same thing to our map here. We select the map. Remember the map is grouped together. So you have to make sure you click twice to ungroup it from the group. Then you can now have access to actually change it on properties. And over here, we select this one, which is this tooltip one here. Now we have something like this. When I now hover over here now, you can now see more detail about this particular map. But unfortunately, we don't know where we clicked on. Can you see what I'm talking about right now? We don't know if this is actually South America, North America, Nigeria, South Africa, Ghana, India, and whatsoever. So what can we do? We have to write a simple measure to get something done right here. So how can we go about this? Very simple. Let's go back to our tooltip. Okay, I think we can be here to do it. It will be very nice for us to be on the dashboard to get it done. So we're going to be writing two measures, but they are similar measures. We just write the first one, we copy and paste and make a little change. You get it? So now this one here is nationality. This is booking channel. This is payment method. So if we go over here now and add a new measure. So the measure should be actually, where could we put the measure? In either of this particular, folder here, the measure can go in. Let us go with this one and new measure. So over here now, I'm going to actually call this one to be tooltip title. Yeah, we call it tooltip title. So O1, I'm going to have it into 2. So you know what I used to do before with this kind of thing? So variable nationality. So we do selected value here, and you bring nationality into it. So we do under variable again. So this one should be booking channel, selected value, booking channel here. So we close, and lastly we do under variable again. So this variable here should be called payment method equals selected value again, and we do payment method. So once done now, this one will be return. Under return, we're going to use switch. So you can use true here. So remember, you can use the if function here, but switch function will look more better. So now we're going to do underscore booking channel is not blank. Then what we want to see is going to be the booking channel here, right? Put a comma here on it, underscore nationality is not blank. So we want to get the same nationality again here. Lastly, we do underscore payment method is not blank. Then we do underscore payment method. Then once we are done, we go ahead and close and hit our enter key. This is all we need to do here. So because of the kind of formatting I want to actually have, I have to create this into two. Otherwise, I would have concatenated what I wanted to do, right? So I can just go ahead and Control A to actually, select everything, and Control C to copy. So once you have done that, right click here and new measure. So we've pasted this one here. I'm going to name this one to 2. Right? 2. Then over here, what I'm going to do on this particular one is to make sure I just remove this under the booking part here. I will type in, instead of book quotes, customer booking channel. So you close. So under the nationality here, so you do inside of book quotes. So we're going to type in customer nationality. Then finally, under the payment method here, we do inside of quotes customer payment method. This is all we need right on this one. Hit your enter key. So we have just created this. Now we can go to our tooltip environment to actually get the remaining one created. Right? So there is one thing I have not added. So over here, just click. Can you see this now? It's very important. There it is. You are holding a shift key and you click on that particular one on your system. Okay. Once done now, you hit the enter key to actually, update it. So once you are here, please copy this particular one. Is very important. Copy it. If you don't want to type it, you can copy it. So now we are here. We can go into the insert here. Once we are under insert, we get in a text box, which is this one. I can stretch it to cover up here. Inside my text box, I'm going to go over here under value, add a dynamic value. So I'm going to paste in the one I've just copied, and I'm going to hit my search, this arrow here. So once this particular save here is activated, that means it has found what we just searched for. So just give it some time. It's working on it. So found, click on save. So we're going to have this. Don't worry about it. Just add it on the next one. So we are going to add a new one again. This time around, paste in the same thing. Change this particular 2 to 1. Don't forget this is what we did. So do this and click on save. So you have this right now. So if we go back here, let us take a look at what we have done. So hovering over this now here, it gives me, customer nationality Russia without having what? Without having a space between them. So we have to maintain that space. And aside that again, we have to make sure we make Russia or the country or whatever dimension is selected to be more separated from the rest. Let's do it. So we are here. If I just click over here now, I can use my arrow to actually make sure I go either right or, left. So in the middle, I want to see the arrow blinking. Once done, hit the enter key to give it a space. Hold your shift key, arrow to the right. Then make sure you select a bolder font, which is this particular one right here. And once done, come over here and change the color to match this very color here. We have something similar like this to our dashboard. So we select this color. Then we have done justification to this now, right? So what we need to do again is to make sure we some kind of Control A to highlight the content we have inside it now. So make sure Control A to highlight it. And let us put it at 12. Maybe this will look okay. Now you minimize this and make sure it's sitting rightly here. Then you can centralize it in the middle. Then let's go over to our formatting area. Then we turn off the background away from here. So we are using 12. So we highlight all of them. In the middle, let's go with 11, or still we can stick to our 10. 10 will be okay. So once we have it on 10, now we want to test it out to see what we have. So this is what we now have over here. So what I want is not this color. I want the color to match, this very color I have here. So I can just go over to this now, click on this, and copy the color code from here to be used. So we locate the column. So we click over here. We copy this color code from here. It has been copied. But I want to select the version here. So once done, I'll paste this back again to get my main color. So I've done that. I'll step into here. Okay, we don't need to do that. We just use this color we've copied. We can change it from the other side. So once we are done, we'll revisit back this again. So make sure your cursor is in the middle. Hold your shift key, arrow to the right hand corner, and we now click over this particular part. We select this color and we step into it. We go to more colors. You choose this particular side of the color that is more deeper. This is what we want. Okay, the next thing we have to do right now is that this particular place is not for fashion. We just have to click on insert and bring in a new text box here. This one will be revenue realized. Right. Let us select a bolder font. Make it this way. And we just drop this over here. So we centralize it. Let us go ahead and take off the background first. So now it's not good. We just have to make sure we have it on white. This is what we want to have. Then this one here, we just go ahead and copy, paste it down, and we bring it over here. Now, just update with lost. Can you see what we have now? So if we now go over to dashboard now, this is everything we need to have, and it's 100% completed. So if I hover over this, let us collapse everything to have a room to view this in a full mode. It's beautiful, right? Can you see it now? You can see the separation of revenue realized and the lost revenue. Can you see what I have now? So when hover over here now, hover over here, this updates automatically, telling us that customer payment method is cash. Then when we hover over this particular one here, it tells us that customer booking channel is online. Do you see this now? This is what you need to do to have something like this created. In case you're still interested in picking up my course to learn more about this, you can actually check out my course. I have the link below this very video on that description box. Please check it out to see what you can learn more from me. This particular part here is very simple. We are talking about slicer. So what I've done here is to choose this, we have already added a slicer for month, and I went here to choose the newer, list, slicer. I don't want to stack my month and the year together. I just want to separate them, but I love the feel of this particular kind of slicer. If you want to actually create it in one, you can actually put your month in this one here. You can use a drop down, but I don't want that to happen, right? So we don't want to actually have such kind of thing. So over here now, what we need to do is to make sure we choose this one. And after you have done that now, you click and you go over here. You go to where it says shapes. I think not on that, on that button here. On that button, you click and go down. Then a default is on white. That is, the fill color is on white. Then the selected one now, you now choose the color you want for it. You want the color to match this particular color here, and we choose this particular color for the selected one. So still, if you want to choose a different color, I can come over here now and get this particular color away from here by going over here. Now I will click over here so you can see what I have now. Then click over this particular one as well. Very easy. Can you see it now? Better. So once I've done that now, I can actually position this at a particular place where it's going to look beautiful. So I can position this and cover this up. Then for this particular one here, I can position it below it here. Something like this is what we want to have. So once we have this now, we have scroll here that we can actually use to choose between different months like November here, October, and all of that. So over here, let us click on it. It seems to have something different here. I don't know how it got in there, but we can verify it. So let's go over to this. So I don't know how nationality got there. So we take the nationality off. We just have this alone. We don't want to have any other thing under it. So once we are cool with this now, the next thing we have to do is to create a bookmark that actually hides it. So we both created this particular one together. Use the same idea to create this one. We have both in here. If I go over to selection, so over here, if I click on this one, it shows you the group filter 01. Then you can see here, if I have this hidden, I only have open. If I have this hidden, I now have close. So create two buttons and stack them together and just use this particular idea we have used over here. Okay, now we break up the bookmark, and this one and this one here, we're going to hold our control key to select them. Then we want to actually keep them in the same group. Right click and go over here and click on group. So they have been grouped together, as you can see. Yes, so here we turn it off, bring it back on. So now double click on this one. So we're going to call this one slicer. Slicers, month, year, right? So on and off can be done through here. So do you now see this now? So the next thing we have to do is to make sure once this one's clicked, then over here is turned on. This one here, when it is on, we want to have close opened. So make sure you select the group of this particular BTN here. Can you see it now? Once that is done, apply a new bookmark. Double click on this one and actually go over here and just type in open slices. Then don't forget to disallow all visuals and make sure you update. Once that is done now, the next thing is for you to turn this off, on, and off. Then make sure the group and the slicer is selected. We add a new bookmark. We double click over here. We now actually do close slices. Don't forget this particular step here. Update. So everything is working fine now. This one here, what is it for? No, we don't need this one. We can delete it. So now it's working fine. The next thing is for we to go over here. double click until this one comes up. This is open. Go over here and click on open filter, open slicer. So it's now working. If I click on this now, my slicer comes up. I can use it, February, and it filter my dashboard for me. I want to hide it. I have to give now this one an action. So we just go ahead and say close. So once I'm done filtering, I can just go ahead and have this hidden and it's gone. Okay, what will make a lot of sense now is that we should move this particular filter away from here, right? So what do? Let's go over to selection. So here we go. We have it. Click done. You can now move it to this particular spot here. So watch what happens. It's still interactive despite the movement. So can you see what we have done now? So for my card here, I can move my card. Let's quickly go over here and make sure everything is selected before we move it. So this is selected. So I can just move this by clicking on these 3 dots here and have it somewhere around here. So it shouldn't cross this particular part because this one here is focusing on where we have what is going to come out right here. This one has to do with the flipping of our cards. You get it right now. So let it be within this environment here. This is what we have actually done. Never forget to save your work. Is very, very important. So now what about this? So you might want to have a question. Use the comment section. I'm actually there to actually answer you. And my course will actually teach you more about what you can do to have beautiful reports and dashboard created, write DAX, clean data, and create better visuals and better designs as well. So see you in my other videos.